Hi guys, this is the Financial Fitness channel. I'm Ying and this is Ivy.
After reading many articles, we realized that there are many people out there face difficulties in saving money.
According to Ringgit Plus, 30% of Malaysian savings won't last for a month, and many shows that saving trend is falling among younger generations, where millennials prefer to spend first, then save later.
So this week, we want to discuss the importance of savings and the 4 types of savings that everyone should have. So let's go!
Number 1 would be emergency saving. It is very important to have an emergency saving fund before you make any other major financial decision, such as taking up a new commitment or clearing up your debts. Because the truth is, in reality, anything could happen and you will need the cash.
For example, you could lose your job or met with an accident or anything else that may happen which will affect your cash flow.
This money is for you to cope with these unexpected incidents so that you don't have to end up borrowing money from your friends, relatives, or even swiping your credit card, which will lead to even more debts that you may never even be able to pay back.
3 to 6 months of your expenses is what's recommended to have as your emergency savings. The lack of emergency fund is what causes people to not being able to cover their monthly commitment due to income loss, especially those who take up 2 or more loans. 65% of bankruptcies come from people who cannot pay their outstanding loans.
You would want to save this emergency fund in an account that is not noticeable but liquidable. I personally would suggest putting it in a separate bank account, like a fixed deposit account, where you don't usually have access to, and another good way would be to put it in an insurance account.
If you don't have an emergency account, I would strongly recommend that you consider having it, because if you don't have it, you will put yourself in a financial mess.
Number 2 would be retirement savings. I would say that retirement savings is the second most important savings that you should have in your financial planning. At the age of retirement, you will need a huge amount of cash to replace the loss of income in order to support your livelihood for your later years. If you are planning to retire at the age of 60, like many of us do, imagine living up to 80, 90, or even 100 without any monthly income.
So here are some of the solutions that we recommend. There are many ways into building your retirement fund, such as increasing your contributions to EPF or doing monthly contributions to investment funds such as unit trusts or saving plans. Some of these choices have higher risk, so try not to put everything in one basket. It is very important to have a balanced portfolio to ensure that you can still hit your retirement goal.
The key here is to start early. Either you start with a minimum of 50 ringgit a month, 100 ringgit a month. It's important to just start. Many millennials do not see the importance of starting as early as they should have. Before you realize it, it may be too late to start your retirement fund.
And please avoid withdrawing your retirement funds. There are many who withdraw their retirement fund and pay for their commitments, such as housing loan, and it left them very little funds to spend after.
According to EPF, the recommended amount of retirement fund that you should have is currently 200,000. And yet, the statistics shows that only 18% of us have that amount of money in our EPF account. How shocking is that?
Number 3, short-term savings. Short-term savings are usually for short-term goals that's within 1 to 2 years. For example, a vacation plan that you plan on taking at the end of that year. It's very important to have a short-term savings. Whatever short-term plan that you have, so that you can budget and not overspend with whatever cash that you have on hand. This is one of the most common mistakes that people do with their money.
Short-term savings can also be used for any debt settlements, such as credit card loans, personal loans, retail loans. It is best that you try to settle these debts as soon as possible because they come with high interest as high as 18%. It won't be beneficial for you to keep spending your hard-earned money on these interests.
We recommend that you put your short-term savings into a savings account, preferably with a higher interest, in a bank that is not your regular withdrawal bank account or your emergency account. This is so that you won't get confused on the purpose for each funds, and also to not have the urge to splurge on any unwanted desires.
A common habit of mine is to have, for example, Bank A as my spending account, Bank B as my emergency fund account, Bank C for my short-term goals. Or you can still have all three different kind of accounts in the same bank. But personally, I would prefer different banks. Out of sight, out of mind.
But if you're the type of person who have difficulty in achieving a saving goal, then we highly recommend that you follow the suggestion that we gave to you.
Number 4 would be long-term savings. Now, these are some of the funds that's generally for goals within 5 to 10 years. So if you are planning to buy a house, going back to school, or starting a business of your own, this can be fitted as your long-term goals.
And for this kind of goal, you will want to mix a high interest account or with some investments account. In any financial guide, investment account should be used for savers who do not need that money for at least 5 to 10 years. If you plan to pay for a down payment for your house in 3 years, we do not recommend it. Although investments can bring higher returns, but you also must be aware that you may lose this money in the market.
That is why we still recommend that you have a mixed portfolio with different kind of investment choices so that you can still counter against these market uncertainties.
For this kind of goals that needs more strategy planning, it is an area where it may be more beneficial to speak with a professional financial advisor so that they can recommend the right account that fits your financial profile.
All in all, in whatever saving goals that you are planning, the most important key in savings is that you make sure it is automatically deducted upon you receive your income. You should not be able to see that money and manually move that money to separate accounts because 1, you may forget to do so. 2, you may be very easily tempted to use that money for immediate desires. The moment you give yourself the chance to use that money, you will stray away from your saving goals. And once that happens, there will be a second time, a third time, and many more times to come. For that, you will never be able to achieve your saving goals. So make sure that you discipline yourself by making it automatically deducted the moment your income comes in.
It may seem excruciating to wait and see your money accumulate, but it is very important to make sure that you take that first step into building your emergency fund or your retirement fund so that you have a healthy financial portfolio. Just by making it a daily habit ensures that you're one step closer to a better future. Thank you all for watching. If you liked the video,
please do give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to learn how to be more financially fit, do follow our Facebook page or
subscribe to my YouTube channel called Ivy's Notebook. Till next time,
bye!